What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fantasy Sports Now. Today we're bringing you the injury report as of 4/16. The last one of these videos got up to 10 minutes. There were so many names, so I want to speed this up. I want to jump right into the content. And if you like jumping right into the content with me, then hit that subscribe button. So let's just get started so we can make this one nice and short. Starting off with some good news here, actually, with Tatis. He sounds like he's going to come back off the injury list Friday, which is great news. I think that his shoulder issue is one of those things that he's had before and we might see again unless there's like a permanent fix for him. So I think that this is something we could see throughout his career, and it's something that is going to go away, kind of quickly. I've had ankle problems. You roll your ankle in your back for a little while. Unless something more serious happens, we could see this reoccurring, and it sounds like he's going to be fine, which is awesome. Great for the game, great for San Diego. Bad news right off the bat of that is Max Fried. You already have Soroka out, and now Fried is going out with a hamstring strain. Really bad news for Atlanta. Their top two guys are out, and it sounds like they're going to be out for a little bit of time here. At least it's a hamstring that's recoverable. I don't think it was like as bad as Carrasco's 6-week hamstring kind of thing, but we'll see. It very well could be that bad. They don't really have a whole lot of information for us. We just know that he's on the DL here with a hamstring strain. So it sounds like horrible news for Atlanta, and it's going to continue to be. Next, we get into why the thumbnail had so many Toronto Blue Jays on it. I think the next 5 names here are Toronto, and unfortunately for them, they go out, sign all these guys, and they're looking pretty good coming into the season, and everybody's just dropping like flies all of a sudden, and it's really going to hurt their season. I mean, hopefully they can kind of come back within the next couple months here, but is it too late at that point? With only 5 playoff teams, they might be too far behind, but we'll see. So we'll start with the one that we kind of don't know much about, which is Biggio. He has this right hand pain injury. They're basically saying it's too swollen to actually see what's going on, which is kind of bizarre. So we'll probably have to wait until Tuesday's report to see what is actually happening here. It could go one of two ways. Rather, it's in his wrist here, and he's going to go on the DL, and it's going to probably affect his swing for the rest of the season. I know that's daunting. Or it's just some bruising, it's just some swelling, it's going to go down, and he'll be totally fine. I know that's like opposite end of the spectrum here, and it's a very scary thought, especially for Toronto fans. But moving on to the next one, Julian Merryweather was the closer for a little while here. Everybody thought it was going to be Romano, or it was going to be Dolis, and then it was Romano. No, turns out it's Merryweather. Merryweather leaves with a left oblique strain, and those can linger, and those are not fun. We see it with Springer. Springer has that, and he's now supposedly recovered from it. Yet he's still not returned because he had a quad injury and all that fun stuff. So Springer's actually not on this report to try to shorten it. He's still not playing, so add him to the Toronto little bulk here. But Merryweather's going to be out for a while. I mean, this oblique is going to set him down, which naturally thinks, oh, well, Romano's going to take that spot again. Hooray. Well, nope, not the case. Romano hurt I think it was his middle finger, this ulnar nutritis. I don't know how to really say it. I just know that your finger's messed up. That's what it means. Your finger's jacked up. And so it sounds like he's going to be down for a while, which basically leaves Dolis, I guess, as the closer. I mean, from a fantasy perspective, I guess if you have free ads, free pickups, then you could go ahead and do that. But the Toronto situation right now is an absolute mess. And it actually continues to get a little bit worse because Ross Stripling was scratched because he has right forearm tightness. And if you watched any injury report to this point, you'll see the trend. Forearm tightness, forearm soreness, bicep soreness, tightness, whatever you want to call it, usually is not your forearm, and it's usually not your bicep. It's usually your elbow, and usually that ends up going to the knife and getting Tommy John. So Ross Stripling, we're hoping just for his sake that it's not that, but it very well could be based on what I'm hearing here. So they're going to try to throw him again, and I think we're going to know soon. But to me, based on, I tried to get loose and I couldn't get loose, that does not sound good. That leans me more towards Tommy John than it does being fine and starting the next time around the rotation. Getting some better news for relief pitching. Soria is coming back. It sounds like he is fine. He had a little calf issue and it put him down for a while. It sounded like he was going to be out longer than this, but it sounds like he's coming back this weekend. So if he's available in leagues and you're desperate for saves or desperate for a closer and somebody dropped him or something along those lines, then next week, pick him up. If you have him currently, well, then next week, here he comes. Cueto, this is unfortunate, for me because he's got this lat issue, and he had to come out of the game, and he pitched 2 straight games, and it was really good. He looked like the Cueto of old. He looked like, last year he had these really high points, and he was putting back-to-back great starts together, and then all of a sudden he comes out with his lat strain, and that really stinks. So it's a tough one because I don't think he'll be on the DL for that long, realistically. A couple of weeks probably. But do you keep him if you have IL spots? Yeah, but if you don't have that many spots, I'd probably cut him. Next, we're going to get into a couple prospects. I've just got a couple of, and they're not really prospects. They're guys that are up that are in more dynasty leagues. We'll make this one quick, like I said. Christian Pach is out with a groin strain. Not good for him. He has not been hitting well. He is an elite outfielder, though, so having a groin issue is not ideal in any way, shape, or form. So this kind of gets worse for Atlanta as well, even though he has not been hitting. Great defender, and he's got a lot of potential, a lot of upside, and now all of a sudden he's going to be down with a groin. Groins usually heal pretty well compared to, like obliques and ankles and elbows and that kind of a thing. So usually groins are fine, and he'll probably be back once the 10 days are up. Last one is Gavin Lux. I guess there's a little bit of good news because I kind of had a mini panic attack when I saw he had a sore wrist. And they kind of call him day to day. Wrists for me are not, they're not death sentence, but it's kind of a disaster with hitting because it takes so long to actually recover from an actual wrist injury. I'm sure we've been over that many times, but last night he came in and he pinch ran, which I feel like is probably a good sign for his day to day health. A lot of times they say that he's day to day, and it turns out, no, he's actually hurt. The fact that they're willing to let him go out and run is probably a good sign for him, and I expect him to be back in the lineup soon. So that's it, guys. That's a quick list. Try to make this short for you guys. So we'll see you next time.